Good afternoon. May I ask you to take seats, please? Thank you very much for coming to the Silesian University of Technology. We are in the main lecture theater of the university, and I would like to kindly welcome all of you, our partners from 7 universities. Currently, we are 8 universities who joined efforts to organize a European university, which we called EURECA-PRO, European University on Responsible Consumption and Production. This is going to be a new quality in the European education system. When we want to offer attractive programs to students, we want to join efforts of our researchers and encourage them for successful submission of European and other projects and performing research together. We would also like to benefit from the best practices in terms of organization of the university from our partner universities. Thanks to the fact that we are also stay in close touch with the European Commission, with other universities who are in different consortia, we are meeting very frequently. We may really benefit a lot. We have a plan for 3 years. We are in the middle. We know that the European Commission is going to expand the funding for following 6 years. And we are also asked to prepare our development strategy until 2040 and over. That's why it's a very long and nice perspective. As I mentioned, we are 8 universities. In fact, we started with 7 universities, and we invited Hasselt University to join us from the 1st January 2022. We are going to invite other universities for our consortium, for our alliance, to be even more perspective and even stronger. I would like to welcome all of you who came to our meeting. First of all, I would like to welcome Professor Arkadiusz Mężyk, the host of this meeting, our director of the Silesian University of Technology. And Vice Rectors, Professor Janusz Kotowicz, Professor Tomasz Trawiński, Professor Bogusław Łazarz, and Professor Wojciech Szkliniarz, who is going to join us. And I'd like to welcome the rectors of our partner universities. Some of them I can see already in this room. Some of them are going to join us in a few hours. It depends on the travel schedule. The rector of Montana University Level, Professor Wilfried Eichschleder. The rector of Technische Universität Bergakademie Freiburg, Professor Klaus-Dieter Barbknecht. The rector of Technical University of Crete, Professor Evan Diamadopoulos. Let's welcome. The rector of University of Petroszany, Professor Sorin Mihai Radu. The rector of University of León, Professor Juan Francisco Garcia Marin. And the rector of University of Applied Sciences in Mitueda, Professor Ludwig Hilmer. And the rector of Hasselt University, Professor Bernard van Heijden. I would also like to warmly welcome the vice rectors who were engaged in this initiative from the very beginning and who are also today with us. Professor Peter Moser, the initiator of this alliance. Vice Rector of Montana Universitat Leben. Professor Urs Peuker, Vice Rector of the Freiburg University. Professor Karsten Drebenstedt, former Vice Rector of the Freiburg University. Professor Michail Lagodakis from Technical University of Crete. And Professor Michalis Zervakis, also from Technical University of Crete. Professor Dan Petrilian, Vice Rector from the University of Petroșani. Professor Roberto Baello Alvarez, Vice Rector of University of León. Professor Volkmar Tolkmit, Vice Rector from the University of Applied Sciences, Mittweida. And Professor Ramona Kusza, Vice Rector of the same university. Vice Rector of University of Hasselt, Professor Wanda Gaddens, and Professor Ken Hennen, Vice Rector also of that university. They could not come because they have accreditation of the whole university, who is just taking today, and it is only once per 6 or 7 years, so they need to stay there, but they sent a good representation. I'd also like to welcome our colleagues from our partner universities who stay with us from the very beginning and who are leaders of the work packages, who are organizing a number of events like summer school, different activities. I'd like to mention Stefanie Walter from Mittweida, Oana Rawasz, Volkmar Kirscher, Julia Sziszczuk, Jan Bongartz, Jasmin Eger, Agnieszka Kościuszko, Sadia van Kauwenberg, Beatriz Alvarez Campos, Paula Garcia Lamas, Oana Rawasz, Maria Speck, and I would like to mention two very special women, Susanne Feil from Mittweida and Lisa Pischler, who is the project manager. I'd like to thank very much for the members of the University Council of the Silesia University of Technology who found the time and visited us today, who are with us. Thank you very much for coming. I appreciate this very much. I'm very grateful that we are also visited by President Marcin Śpiewok, who is the Deputy President of the city of Gliwice. Thank you very much for coming. And Mr. Jan Woźnikowski, Director in Upper Silesia and Zagłębie Metropolis, who is representing its President, Kazimierz Karolczak. Thank you very much. I'd like to welcome all professors, academic teachers, PhD students, students of the first and second cycle of studies, and administrative staff of all our universities. I'd like to also mention that we have an idea to develop fast in terms of research. That's why we established 5 Lighthouse missions. I'd like to welcome the coordinators of the 5 Lighthouse missions and all the professors involved in their activities. I also would like to welcome my colleagues from the Silesia University of Technology who did significant effort to run this project, to implement it from the very beginning, and who are with us today, including Professor Anna Chrobok, Dr Marcin Górski, Professor Sebastian Werle, Dr Szymon Ogonowski, Dr Grzegorz Kłapyta, and many, many others. I didn't mention everybody. I apologize for that. This is only a group of representatives. Thank you very much for coming. And now I would like to warmly welcome the rector of the Silesia University of Technology, Professor Arkadiusz Mężyk. The floor is yours.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted to welcome all of you to the Silesian University of Technology for the EURECA-PRO Review Week meeting. I am glad that we host such a large group of representatives of all the EURECA-PRO consortium partner universities, including rectors, vice-rectors, scientists, students, and administration staff. I would like to welcome all of you and the representatives of the Upper Silesian Metropolis and the city of Gliwice. The role of European universities in developing a system of education and strengthening the socio-economic potential through science is very important. Only around 5% of European universities are formally involved in the program of European University Alliance. It is extremely important to be united, to join our forces and be of support to each other, especially now in a situation of ongoing Russian aggression against Ukraine. This act should be condemned, and we all do. This situation also requires us to provide scientific rescue efforts in the field of humanitarian, legal, economic, and even military support. It is worth mentioning that EURECA-PRO has managed to organize humanitarian aid for Ukraine. I am deeply convinced that our meeting will bring many valuable reflections which will allow us to unite even stronger around common goals. During the review week, we will have the opportunity to present our universities, which will open new platforms for communication. Especially now that we are experiencing a crisis caused by war and sanctions, we are all aware of the need to act in the field of responsible consumption and production. Both the production of goods and their consumption should be performed with due care for the climate and environmental protection, reducing the consumption of raw materials. We need to approach responsible consumption and production from different perspectives, such as a production perspective, but also a social perspective, including architecture, materials engineering, chemistry, etc., etc. Our consortium is constantly developing. It is particularly important to expand the consortium with new universities, which will be a subject of discussion at the Board of Rectors. Our objective is to strengthen the higher education system in Europe by stimulating mobility, civic engagement, and shared values. The operation of the European University will bring many benefits to students who will have an opportunity to participate in courses taught at partner universities and to study double or even joint degree programs. This is a vision for the future at EURECA-PRO that we are working on, and we believe that it will become reality soon. We also work on preparing and offer for joint doctorates, joint programs for students, and joint research. Ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted that we are hosting you at the Silesian University of Technology, which allows us to present our potential and to extend academic cooperation. The dynamics of our development and our significance, both in the region and on the national and European levels, are constantly increasing. Since 2019, the Silesian University of Technology, as one of 10 universities in Poland, has been implementing the prestigious ministerial program, the Excellence Initiative Research University. Our university is the oldest technical university in Upper Silesia region and one of the largest in the country. It was established in 1945 as a scientific and didactic center for the most industrialized region in Poland and even in Europe. The mission of the Silesian University of Technology is to conduct innovative research and development works and to educate highly qualified staff for the benefit of society and the knowledge-based economy. It also actively stimulates the growth of the region and the local communities. The university members conduct research in 6 priority research areas, which include computational oncology and personalized medicine, artificial intelligence and data processing, materials of the future, smart cities and future mobility, process automation and Industry 4.0, climate and environment protection, modern energy. Over 77 years of the history, the university has educated more than 215,000 graduates. Our activities are guided by openness and the pursuit of scientific excellence. I'm convinced that we will jointly achieve this goal and together we can confidently look into the future. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a few days of hard work ahead of us, summing up our achievements so far and indicating new directions for actions. I wish you fruitful deliberations and success in solving emerging problems. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, our rector, for this encouraging welcome and motivating us to develop further and further. Our university is very much engaged and is going to be even more and more engaged. I would like to now welcome our partner of this today's event, who represents Upper Silesian Zagłębie Metropolis, Dr. Jacek Woźnikowski, who will give a speech on behalf of the president of the Metropolis. I would also like to mention that the Metropolis is also a sponsor of our event. Thank you.
Good morning, dear rector, distinguished guests. It's a great pleasure to be here with you, and it's a great pleasure to present a couple of details about our organization on behalf of Kazimierz Karolczak, the president of the board. We are in the city of Gliwice, which is, in my opinion, the most important city of the metropolitan area, even though I'm from Katowice, but still. Okay, so we are representing 41 cities and communes, habitated by 2.3 million inhabitants, but to be honest, we are 2.2 million inhabitants because the depopulation is our biggest challenge. So that's the main goal of our organization, is to stop the process of depopulation. A couple of facts: we are a huge academic region, but we are not as famous as Krakow or Warsaw because we are polycentric, and the universities are spread all around the metropolitan area, from Gliwice up to Dąbrowa Górnicza and Katowice, even Tychy or Zabrze, Bytom. We are quite new organization. We are established in 2017, and we are the first of kind in Poland. We are the first with the dedicated law, and we are public administration. The other metropolitan areas in Poland are working on basis as non-government organization or just the strategic partnership of communes. We've got our dedicated act, and we've got our dedicated budget, which comes from the personal income tax. And the government gave us 6 main areas of operating, and we put some more details in our strategic action program, and I would like to give you a couple details about it. So our most important task is to organize the public transportation, but is right now, and it's just a tool for the most important, in my opinion, which is socioeconomic development and special planning. The government added the promotion as well to our activities. It's all started with the mission of our organization, and in my opinion, it's just to search for the synergies and to give added value for the region. It sounds maybe simple, but to be honest, it's really difficult to work with so many stakeholders. And we are really much more than a public transport. And I love to define our organization through the roles we are playing. For example, we are an integrator. To give you an example, a couple of years ago, where city bikes entered our region, a couple of cities launched their own city bike programs, and all of them were run by the company Nextbike. But the cities, they don't manage to create a partnership between themselves. And for example, the citizen who's living in Chorzów and would like to travel to, wanted to travel to Katowice, was not allowed to leave the bike there. So our organization managed to create a kind of one ecosystem of the city bike in the region. We're an organizer of public transport or purchasing clusters. We are an initiator of some new ideas in the region, and that's my favorite because it's my team who's dealing with that. It's a drone project, and we are proud that we can work in this field with the city of Gliwice and the university, and our flagship project is happening in Gliwice and to other communes this year. We might be a partner, for example, for our communes, and we might be a patron, and I guess that's the most important role in terms of our relationships with academia. And we are the sower of ideas. That was our organization who brought the walkability topic to the public discussion in the region. How do we work? So we may just take the tasks from the communes, like public transport. We may work with the communes. We may launch our own projects. And right now we are launching the project called Metro Lab, which is going to be the living lab or the urban lab for the metropolitan area, who's going to be our unit to cooperate with the stakeholders. I would like just to give you 5 examples of our activities. Obviously, there are much more, but or many more. But first is the Metropolis of Science, which is basically a dedicated fund for the academia in the region. Okay. We are dealing with demographic challenges, with innovations, as mentioned, drones or hydrogen technologies, and as for now, our main topic is sustainable mobility. And all of that is driven by the idea of being sustainable, and all of our tasks should be grounded by the idea of sustainable development. And that's going to be it. And thank you so much for the invitation, and I wish you a great meeting here. Thank you.
Mr. Woźnikowski mentioned the Metropolis, when our university is a part of, but we appreciate it very much that our main seat is located in the city of Gliwice. I would also like to kindly welcome the Deputy President of the city of Gliwice, Marcin Śpiewok. Thank you very much for joining us, and the floor is yours.
Dzień dobry, witam Państwa. Witam wszystkich w Gliwicach. Politechnika Śląska zawsze była tym miejscem, tym powodem dumy nas wszystkich Gliwiczan. Cieszę się, że możemy Państwa tutaj właśnie gościć. To dzięki właśnie Politechnice Śląskiej, dzięki naukowcom, dzięki absolwentom, dzięki tym pomysłom, które się tutaj rodzą, temu postępowi, który stąd pochodzi, możemy się prężnie rozwijać i tak właśnie się dzieje. Szczycimy się tym, że jesteśmy miastem akademickim, które stawia na nowoczesną gospodarkę, które jest oparte na wiedzy tutaj, między innymi tutaj zgromadzonych i to jest właśnie ten powód do dumy Gliwiczan. Dostrzegamy szanse, które wychodzą z tej uczelni, ale też i problemy, z jakimi muszą się zmagać nowoczesne, duże miasta, aglomeracje, tereny zurbanizowane. Jednym z takich mocniejszych wyzwań jest oczywiście ochrona środowiska. Chcemy się rozwijać w sposób zrównoważony. To nasz wspólny cel zarówno władz miejskich, jak i tutaj władz uczelnianych. Dlatego tak bardzo cieszymy się, że Uniwersytet Europejski jest właśnie tworzony przez Politechnikę Śląską i koncentruje to działanie tego uniwersytetu będzie koncentrowało się na tematyce związanej ze środowiskiem. Tak ogólnie ujmując temat, myślę, że Państwo doskonale wiecie w szczegółach, na czym ten projekt polega. W szczególności cieszymy się, że to właśnie Politechnika Śląska zaangażowana jest tak mocno w ten ambitny projekt łączący doświadczenia naukowców, łączący wiele krajów. Liczymy na to, że studia, które będą przez Państwa prowadzone, będą pewną odpowiedzią na wyzwania, przed jakimi stoimy. Będą też taką odpowiedzią na wyzwania, przed jakimi stoi dzisiejsza gospodarka. Musimy myśleć, projektować, optymalizować produkcję, musimy oszczędzać surowce, maksymalnie chronić nasze środowisko naturalne. Wierzę, że właśnie dzięki tym pracom, które tutaj będą prowadzone, uda nam się wspólnie tworzyć nowoczesne miasto, rozwijać się do przodu. Taki sobie cel postawiliśmy w Gliwicach przed laty i skrzętnie go realizujemy, a dzięki wsparciu Państwa, myślę, że ten cel będziemy mogli szybciej i łatwiej osiągnąć. Jest to nasz priorytet, bo on się wpisuje wprost w podnoszenie życia, jakości życia naszych mieszkańców. Życzę Państwu owocnych prac. Cieszę się, że patrzymy w przyszłość razem i myślę, że będziemy stanowili świetne pole do wymiany doświadczeń i do postępu, przede wszystkim do postępu w tej dziedzinie ochrony środowiska. Dziękuję Państwu bardzo.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. We appreciate the collaboration with the city of Gliwice, and we are very proud that we have so huge support. I would like to kindly welcome the initiator of EURECA-PRO, who invited all of us to take the effort and organize this whole alliance. Professor Peter Moser, Vice Rector of the Montana University at Lebanon. You're welcome.
Thank you. I tried Dzień dobry. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Rector of Silesian Technical University, Vice Rectors, colleagues here in Gliwice, thank you very much for this warm welcome and hosting our important review meeting, which is dedicated to look back to practically half of our first period for establishing a European university on responsible consumption and production. And the other half of the meeting is to have an outlook, what will come in the next 1.5 years, and especially to develop and discuss ideas for a continuation beyond this first period already in place. I think in general, my resume is that we are on a good track, we're in a good way. We have achieved a lot of big and small things already. We are even working on many more things, big and small. And I think it's a good time now to have an in-depth review of how things developed and what we could and what we can improve for the future. For me, and I think for a lot of us, it was an intensive intercultural experience so far that stretches from the southeast of Europe up to the northwest, from the southwest to the northeast. I think we are a very dynamic team and group, and a good proof of it is the new roll-up here, showing that we have another partner, University of Hasselt, joining our alliance, and I hope there will be a few more coming. And following this vision and this idea that Susanne Feil, and I have to mention there's always a father of something, but also a mother of something, and really would like to say that Susanne actually is in the role of the mother of this EURECA-PRO University, and after my few words of welcome and introduction here, she will then talk about our vision that was, I think, a very important starting point 1.5 years ago, and still is an extremely important message or idea for all of us to follow and to continue for a long time here. Responsible consumption, an extremely important part of sustainable development. Putting together these two big parts of sustainable development is on the one side the society and the consumers, and on the other side technology and production and new ideas for our future. Let me just refer to a few things we have achieved in the last 1.5 years. When it comes to work package 1, our organization and administration here, I think we all came to know a lot of new, interesting people, different ideas. I think everybody already knows our exceptional Lisa and her very inspiring approach to forming a team and to putting us together. In the work package 2, we have done a lot of work on joint shared education. I'm happy to say that at 10 o'clock yesterday in the evening from my hotel room, I succeeded in handing in 4 new curricula, international curricula, on circular engineering, on responsible consumption and production, both on the bachelor level and on the master level. And especially for this responsible consumption and production, I would like to thank all partners from EURECA-PRO University that already have sent in to Leoben their modules and their contributions. And I hope that we will be able from now on until September to pass out this message that EURECA-PRO is offering exciting and unique, fantastic study programs for the young generation to join our efforts on sustainable development. So to say, to take what we say in German, Ärmel hochkrempeln, and let's start to work on something which is important. I think there's a lot of more things to do in education. Not everything can be done within a day, so to say. But aside from these study programs, we have already organized summer schools, open lectures, and I think that is contributing and has contributed very well to spreading out this idea of responsible consumption and production. In our research work package, we managed to define 5 lighthouse topics on responsible material flows, on environment and water, on sustainable materials and products, on clean energy, and a process automation industry 4.0. I think very important, the inventory of what we are doing in this area has shown that the 8 universities now have a big portfolio to offer, and combining this will not only form a 9th joint university called EURECA-PRO. I think it's much more. Having 8 institutions joining their efforts is, I would say, we double what we can do then in the future, rather than doing things alone in a separate way. Of course, the definition now of these research topics has to be followed by concrete actions, big or small, and I would like to mention something which is, I think, very important in what we continue to do and what we still plan to do, is not just wait for everything until we have the ideal plan for it. Start the work, start to develop things. I think learning by doing is also an important approach. Of course, knowing that sometimes the early start maybe is not the best one, but still I say that we have learned a lot in the last 1.5 years, and we can build on this. And now I think it's time to start out with joint research activities. And I'm really looking forward to how the different teams from the different universities are now going to join their efforts. There has been a lot of work in Work Package for innovation and entrepreneurship, interesting online talks and presentations. If I'm not wrong, there was an entrepreneurship and innovation course with 500 participants already showing that this is something where we're addressing the right thing, and that we have a lot of room for development in the future. In Work Package 5, something very important is transversal skills development has been high on the agenda. There's a STEM contest going on, and when we look to newspapers across Europe, every country is facing this problem of having enough skilled young people in the field of engineering. And I think we are addressing a very important thing here, and we even have to increase our efforts in this direction. The governance and organization work package is also something which is extremely important, because at the end of the day, EURECA-PRO has to be grounded or built on sound joint legal organizational structures, knowing that there is still no common joint European framework for something what we would call in the future European university. I think despite that, that we are, so to say, looking for joint regulations which will only come in the future, I think it's time that we, so to say, work in a way that we think that we are already a legally established organization, knowing that this still will take some time until this becomes a reality. Work Package 7 with the third mission and the societal dimension, I think still has to be very much improved, because it is our responsibility from a production background, from an engineering background, from a technological background, to include society much more in the future than we have done in the past. Work Package 8 with the dissemination over the social media and the websites and so on is going on. Also there we have to increase our efforts to strengthen the activities, increase the activities, because at the end of the day our impact depends on how well we can spread out information both on our education activities, both on our research activities. Yeah, I think EURECA-PRO can be very proud of showing that a lot of big things and even a lot of many more small things are going on. Last week, my colleague Aga in Leoben organized a small language course, how to correctly pronounce Polish words and names. I think this is something that shows just that there is room for activities, small and big, and that there are plenty of things that we can do in order just to make us aware of how nice and how diverse Europe is in many aspects. And I think especially for universities, this is a very, very important point to take up. Actually, we are basically at midterm. We have come quite far to the moment. There's still a long journey, 1.5 years to go until the end. But this 1.5 years ahead of us is also short because time flies high, passes quickly, and we have to use this meeting, and I'm saying I'm quite happy that after the review meeting in Leoben, it's now the second time after the COVID crisis that we are able to meet in person in such a big group. Please use this opportunity here to discuss during coffee breaks, during dinner, during lunch, during these unofficial meetings, to exchange your views and ideas what will come after 2023. I all invite you to contribute your ideas to a good proposal for the next 6 years to come, phase 2 of EURECA-PRO. And the success will depend on every person's contribution in terms of ideas and things that we could do after these first 3 years of activities. Yeah, I'm looking forward to today's and tomorrow's meetings. Unfortunately, I have to leave on Thursday. There's another important meeting at our university going on. But I think there's a lot of hours until then, and I will try to use them as good as possible to exchange views and ideas with you. And please do this also on your side. Thanks a lot. Looking forward to a good meeting. Glück auf.
Thank you very much, Peter. I'd like to welcome now Susanne Fayel. As you mentioned, the mother is. She's the mother.
Well, thank you very much for having me here today. I'm very glad that I have such a big family. I mean, and I would also like to say that I feel like this is a family, and I'm very much awed at how this has developed over the past 2 years. I'm very honored to have been asked to speak today here at this opening ceremony of the second ever EURECA-PRO Review Week. We know how much the first Review Week really has added value to our personal relationships, and how important the personal relationships are in taking us forward in our work. But before I go into depth of everything, I would like to thank our hosts, the Silesian University of Technology, for hosting this gigantic event. I know that it's a lot of work. We've done it once, and respect for organizing all of this. I would also like to thank all of you who have showed up here physically, in person, because that brings me back to what I said before. The personal relationships are so important, and I'm so amazed how many of you came, and I know that a lot are still coming. A lot aren't even here yet, so we're going to even add more people, and there are a lot of people who unfortunately are not able to be here, who would like to be here, so we don't even get to see the full of potential of people that are working on this project. Seeing as we have a long way ahead of us, we're working on a 2040 vision. I think it's a good thing that we're getting closer and are trying to, establish personal relationships, because we are in this boat, or on this boat together, for a very long journey. But what is the vision now that, it says vision up here, so everybody expects me to talk about a vision. I would rather very much prefer to talk about where does our vision come from and why have we gotten together to work on something, and what is it that we're working on. Now, you all know that the creation of the European Union was aimed at putting an end to the numerous wars between neighboring countries within Europe, and that ever since the 1950s, with the European coal and steel community, there has been a political and economic unification of our countries. However, we have not, unfortunately, taken all the countries on board, and especially in times like these, we are reminded how important it is to work on the peace within and throughout Europe. The cruel conflict in the neighboring country of this one that we're standing in today is a reminder that freedom work is never done. Democracy cannot be taken for granted once it is installed. We need to work on it constantly. It's a work in progress. Otherwise, it may be slipping through our fingers. And, every day that we get up, the situation, the stable situation that we live in, the democracy that we live in, it may seem like it is a steady state. But it is not. And it's very unthinkable for us, and it seems so illogical that someone may come, and try to take it away from us, because it seems like a good system to live in. But we have learned that it's a fragile thing, and that now more than ever we need to come together and work on it to safeguard it. Uniting Europe and harmonizing it is no small task to take on. And, we have different histories and the derived beliefs that stem thereof. We have different languages and cultures, different governments, ideas of the future, different ways that we organize our social systems, different innovation capacities, different education systems, and the list goes on. If this was a company and I had been given the task to harmonize the 27 diverse departments, I'm not sure that at first I would see myself fit to take the task on. However, those of you who know me know that I would. And I think that it can be done. I mean, look at all of us in this room here. I see that it can be done, and that there are a lot of willing people that want it to be done. The secret to our success is that our differences make us stronger when we work together. Our diversity enriches our collaboration. And we have to be aware of this, and we have to learn how to utilize this. All these different perspectives, ideas, and capabilities will yield a much brighter and better and stronger result. I mean, just imagine doing a European university, just one country. I mean, it's an oxymoron, really. So what a great thing it is that we all meet here together in the middle of the EU Diversity Month that is currently going on. So I think we've planned at a very well point in time, because we are, with our work, contributing to the mission of the European Union of, lasting peace and democracy. EURECA-PRO is one of the 41 revolutionary alliances to work on this. But what is, the tangible mission that we're working on? There are two very important aspects for the design and the success of the European Union that relate to what we are doing, and that is, on the one hand, the European higher education area, and on the other hand, the European research area. This is a unique international collaboration, and it is the free and political will of 49 countries with different political, cultural, and academic traditions that work together because they want students and academics to be able to freely move between those countries, because we all see the added value of what I just said before, the enriching power of diversity, and also the individual benefits that it gives to the people. A lot has happened in the past 35 to 40 years, ever since Erasmus was first installed. We've heard from people who were there already at the beginning that with the installment of Erasmus, it seemed absurd to people to send students to other universities throughout their studies. And yet now, decades later, we have reached a state where this has become a standard, where we ask students that we interview after they, after they're done with their studies, why they haven't gone to another country to enrich their academic experience. The European Union needs a very strong European higher education and research area to be also competitive on a world stage. And our initiative will contribute to that. With the foundation of the European Universities Initiative, we're taking a huge leap forward. And although there are barriers that we think we may not be able to eliminate and tear down that are in front of us right now, as we go on, I'm sure that we will find solutions through constant dialogue, also with the policymakers on the EU level, that will enable us to make all the processes smoother. The foundation of the alliances is not only a project to be worked on that will be put into a drawer once it is completed. All the structural reforms are very important. EURECA-PRO has another very important aspect that it works on, though. We decided at the very beginning that we are not only going to work on structural reforms that will enable to strengthen the European higher education and research area, but by entering our alliance, we have committed to changing our institutions to become ready for a different future. The topic that we're working on, the topic of producing and consuming responsibly, is ever growing in its importance. Humans, so us, have created an economic system that is based on growth, which in turn is driven by consumption. By producing for consuming, we're also consuming our environment. But our planet is finite, and I am not talking about scarcity of mineral resources underground. I am talking about biophysical limits that our planet has. Biophysical limits that we cannot transgress, or else we may reach a tipping point in which our climate system may irreversibly change, and we will reach a climatic state in which it is not as comfortable to live in as it was in the past 10,000 years, where humanity was able to thrive. Climate change emissions, biodiversity loss, land use change, phosphorus and nitrogen overload, as well as ocean acidification, are only some of the boundary issues that need immediate solutions. For our economic activity, we have altered 75% of all land surface areas. 1 million species are about to go extinct within the next 10 years. And we have almost lost all of our wetlands. Those are just very few of the shocking examples if we go into it more deeply. I believe that it is time to radically change our system now. How can we build new responsible systems? And it is not time to improve the old. It is time to install new things, new systems, new approaches. Because improving the old will not be enough for what's ahead of us. Especially because we are a new meta-university on a European level that positions itself as the innovation and education core hub in this regard. So we really, like Peter said, need to roll up our sleeves and get going. This is not meant to be a criticism. We have rolled our sleeves up, I know that. In 2017 and 18, European universities were merely an idea. And we are, not even 4 years later, we are here in the middle of what we're doing, and we have achieved so many great things. And I know that sometimes it may seem overwhelming for a lot of us because we're doing so much, but take a step back, look back. This review week is meant to do that. All of you have put their sweats into what we're doing, I know that. And please don't be desperate if at times you think this is overwhelming. Especially, I noticed before review weeks. This may be the case sometimes, but you know what? Working on what we're working on is no small task. We want to change the future. This is a gigantic mission that we have ahead of us. I know, looking at all of you and knowing who else is on board of this mission, that we can do it. And there's nothing left for me to say than let the works begin. Thank you for having me. Have a wonderful review week.
Thank you very much, Susanne. Now I kindly invite you for coffee break, which will take 15 minutes, and then please come back for the second part of the plenary session, which will be on the progress report. And afternoon, after lunch, we will have sessions in parallel. Everybody is invited to participate in every session. Only steering committee and board of directors are by invitation. Thank you very much. Enjoy coffee break. And breaking the coffee break. Lisa Pichler, who is the project manager and who is the person whom we all know very, very well. Lisa, you are mostly welcome to give us a speech.
Well, thank you. You know, it feels like uniting people, having all and friends here. Because imagine that Marek even brought me a jacket because I forgot my jacket. He took care and brought me a jacket. So yes, we feel very welcome. We thank you all for this possibility to be here, for hosting us. And as Susanne already said, we know how much effort it is to prepare this. So thank you to the organizers, really. Thank you, because I know. So it's so beautiful to see you all back. And many of you, of course, I know already. Some of you I don't know, and I'm looking forward to finding out who you are. So our last review week that we had in October in Leoben was a very, very nice chance of meeting and getting together. And I believe, well, I'm really sure that also this week will be full of nice memories and full of nice just moments. And I really ask you all, because it's an exceptional possibility to just meet and exchange ideas, as Peter already said, and really don't go home before you haven't talked to everybody who's here. So try to really mix in your groups and really talk to everybody so you find out who we are, okay? Well, already 18 months have passed, so actually a little bit more even. And when I remember and thinking back, because now I'm asked to talk about the first 18 months of EURECA-PRO, at the very beginning, when I started working at Montana University, I had no clue who I would be working with. Everybody just said, oh, it's nice people. It's really nice people. So the first impression after our kickoff meeting that we had was already a very good one, and it grew into a very good one after really knowing you now for all this time. So I feel we just really grew together in this last, especially last year, because in the beginning, of course, it took a while until every university found the people. So that was also a process of, let's say, 4 to 6 months even, until each university really had the people who could work on EURECA-PRO. Many, many, many things have been happening in between. We had many little things, as Peter said, many big things. And yeah, we submitted lots of deliverables also. It's more than 60. I don't know if you're aware of this. I can't believe I read 60 deliverables. So yes, it's a lot. And of course, also a lot of activities, be it an open lecture series, a summer school, or be it something like now in Spain, a sustainable cooking class. I mean, we have a very broad variety of things that we offered so far. And now, well, we even grew into 8. So yes, within those many months that passed, many things also happened. We have established a lot of working groups. They're frequently meeting and working on different tasks so that we can construct our European university. And now, maybe Carsten, you also have to listen, because I just see people on the laptops. Michael, we started out very small, and everything was very quiet, very easy, transparent, and logic, you know? Everybody knew exactly what's happening. I think you remember all these times. But meanwhile, if you look at it, the seed grew and it developed more and more. And actually, it's like something that developed branches. And the branches developed little twigs. And now, I know, it's really impossible to know what are all these twigs actually doing, you know? So, well, branches need pruning. Some of them need support. So you need to know what to support, what branch. You need to see what branch you need to prune. And Silesian University of Technology, and especially Marek and Marcin, you guys, are very responsible for our EURECA-PRO tree. So this means I gave you actually a tree that's quite easy to prune, okay? It's not going to take a lot of space. It's symbolic. So, but it is a tree, as I said, easy to prune, which gives you the time to prune us, because we are not so easy to prune. This tree, you know, for now, it's a small tree. It's a cherry tree, Marek. Yes, cherry tree, because I like cherries. But, you know, now, as it's a small tree, of course, there won't be a lot of fruits. There won't be a lot of cherries in this year. Next year, there will be some cherries. And in a couple of years, there might be a lot of cherries. So this is just the same as for our EURECA-PRO University, right? So we are working on something. We are putting effort. You have to support these branches. You have to prune them. You have to give them the growing directions. But at the same time, all these efforts will blossom. And sometime we will have nice cherries, hopefully. No, I'm sure. And there will be so many people benefiting from this work that we are doing now. So I just want every one of you to be aware of this, that we are, maybe not now seeing, but yes, it's going to be for our students, for our staff, for our research, for Europe, for the whole world. We are doing something really big, okay? So take good care. It came all the way with the train from Steiermark. I hope it's a multicultural tree and is also adapting to Polish climate. Yeah. So, well, that are the most important things that I wanted to say now. And, well, I'm just asking now all the coordinators, one after the other, to tell us a little bit about those last 18 months, about what has happened. And I asked you, so hopefully you had the time to also prepare some pictures so we have an idea of what EURECA-PRO really was in these last 18 months. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to work with you.
Thank you, Lisa. It's very, very nice. Now is the time to present the progress in terms of work packages one by one. And we decided to start from our work package, which is chaired by Silesian University of Technology. And we shared the presentation. I will say a few words about some more formal aspects, and then I will invite Marcin to give an overview of what has already happened in a more entertaining way. Can I ask for the next slide, please? Sorry, I have it. Yes. So, you know, we are responsible for governance. I'm not going to talk too much because we presented the general idea about the governance of the whole European University quite many times. So just to mention to those who are for the first time to hear the presentation, those who already heard a part of that may can see what steps we made since our last presentations and where we are and what is in fact to be done. So we are going to build a university. Obviously, at the beginning, it is a kind of umbrella university which will cover activities and organization of the partner universities in the alliance who are forming this European university, but as you know, it will be getting more and more autonomy as the new years come. And obviously, we planned that it is always be dependent on the universities which established EURECA-PRO, but anyway, it will be more and more functional. So at the beginning, we'll have a virtual campus or campuses, and we started organizing that. We are currently in the first stage of implementation, but the stage already developed and changed as compared to what we planned when submitting our application to European Commission. I will show in a while. We prepared some regulations how the subsequent entities or unities or bodies within EURECA-PRO should work and what the duties are and how they are going to be organized, just to create a university from the very beginning. Obviously, we have very good practices. Now we also need to adapt the rules which are set by the European Commission. Some of the rules are set by our state governments, some follow from our tradition. So it is quite challenging, but anyway, we are trying to do this. So we are trying to develop new ideas and put it into the structure. Now the structure, this actual stage looks like this. So we have the project. In fact, this is an Erasmus Plus project, which is split into 8 work packages, starting from the first work package, which is about management of the whole initiative, and it's chaired by MUL. The other organizations who are responsible for the following work packages, you can see at the bottom of the navy blue rectangles. And we already established a few bodies which are meeting very, very frequently. Some of them used to meet even every week. Some of them have some duties spread a bit over time. We already decided that we need to expand this structure, and during this EURECA-PRO week we will run for the first time International Relations Task Force, which turns out to be very, very needed because we need to expand our collaboration to other universities in Europe and beyond. And also we need to capture some new contacts with companies, with universities, and make our EURECA-PRO more visible. We also have combined this structure a bit with the EURECA-PRO, which is a complementary program funded from Horizon 2020. We are very proud of this project because it allows us to let's say, flourish in terms of research. That's why we defined coordinators of the Lighthouse Missions. It will be said later on about this. We have representatives of our universities, and we are planning to make this really united. We are going to apply, or in fact, we are doing this for higher European innovation, and everything is within EURECA-PRO. So even if we are trying to find some other fundings and run some other projects, the main idea follows from EURECA-PRO. And you can also see on this diagram a kind of flow chart how the information is being passed, who is advising to whom, and who is making decision. Obviously, on top of everything is the Board of Rectors, but Board of Rectors is supported in everyday operation by the steering committee, who has a control over everything. And as you know, we are currently 8 universities. We invited Hasselt University to join us from 1st January 2022, but we have plans for further expansion, so we are also analyzing this. So one of our main concern within the governance work package is everything which is related to a legal situation, because, as I mentioned, this is a kind of combination of different kind of legal documentation and solutions. And obviously we need to accommodate them, to draw as much as we can to our university, but also we need to lobby for some changes where possible. Obviously we can easily, or hopefully easily, change something at our universities, but this which follows from state regulations requires our contribution, our collaboration with other universities who are in different consortia, and we need to prepare some proposals for this and try to do our best. And we will be also talking during the review week about some funding opportunities. Obviously, we are mostly interested about European projects. Many of the universities within our consortium are very successful. We all need to benefit from our contacts, need to work on joint applications, and also expand our our success rate. For the Board of Rectors meeting, we also invited regional director from Times Higher Education, who will come to us and will try to show us some guidelines how we can be more effective and more successful in the impact rankings related to SDGs, mainly SDG 12. So this is also very important. We'll be also talking about, and we are trying to find some possibilities to get funding from EIT, which is in fact the second leg of the European funding. The most related to us is raw materials, but there are also some others. We are also working on the system for joint admission. We need to first of all agree for some rules, how to do this for the students to be automatically recognized also at our and other universities, to make the student applications as easy as possible and to let them benefit as much as possible. Yes, so as I mentioned in my former talk, we wish the students to be students of a real European university, and hopefully we will also develop something which is called European degree, but it needs some more restrictive regulations, and the European Commission is going to run some pilot projects about this. And we also are trying to do our best to allow for some platforms, to offer some platforms for this recognition and for this recruitment to be performed together. I also mentioned that we have some plans for expansion of our university. This will be a subject of our this afternoon talk in the steering committee, and mostly tomorrow's discussion during Board of Rectors. We have some ideas, we have some plans, but it's too early to discuss it right now at this moment, but you can see some question marks put in some countries which may suggest you something. We have some interested universities. Thank you very much for attention, and I invite Marcin to show something really interesting.
Good morning, everybody. Before my presentation shows up, I will just join to the welcoming words. I see many people that we know each other from plenty of meetings, also these on-site meetings. We are truly happy to have you here. I hope it will be enjoyable and fruitful time for you. As our work package concerns on governance, it is maybe not too fancy to show the visual aspects of our work, but nevertheless, there are some photos that I would like to share, as Lisa asked of something entertaining, because our university also, like all of our universities, also are happy to join other type of events, not only connected with their work packages. So having 3 minutes to show something what happened during this pandemic times and having some photos, I chosen the group, the very special group of stakeholders to show. And those stakeholders of us, okay, it's not cooperating with me. I'm sorry, but something stuck. Okay. Okay, so the stakeholders, the very special stakeholders for us that we were happy and able to host during this pandemic time, the children, the school children from different type of schools, and we have organized a workshop about the responsible consumption and production in aspects of protection, environmental protection and ecology. So this is the group of the primary school children who are happy to join our very scientific and serious events, as you can see, run by our scientists with the help of the Science Communication Center at our university. So there are some photos of those events, and they were assisting the lectures. And the second thing I would like to share with you, it's the contest, the photographic contest that we prepared. It was called ECHO with Eureka. We had this very short spot of time to make the contest, but we didn't have, unfortunately, the chance to show it on site. Now it's hanging in the Science Communication Center. I will be happy to take you there. But I would like to show you the winning works. So this is from the children of primary school, 7, 10 years old, 11, 15 years old, and 11, 15 years old. Second place, very special for me, because actually there was the kid who was so happy to receive his award and the diploma that his parents were sending us the photos for a week, showing how enjoyable gifts he had. So that actually made my day and was really worth to make it. So this is the award from the older children, and the Grand Prix 8 great works. I'm just showing 3 of them. So that's it. I hope to show you more in the Science Communication Center. Okay, and now the next presentation. Yes. The next presentation is by Volkmar, I believe. However, I see and Alex is coming to have.
Thank you. So I do have the pleasure to take part for Volkmar, because Volkmar unfortunately couldn't come to Gliwice. So work package 3, the research part of EURECA-PRO. What is the research vision of EURECA-PRO all about? So the research vision of EURECA-PRO is to be an educational core hub and an interdisciplinary research and innovation leader for responsible consumption and production of goods till the year of 2040. And in order to achieve this vision, EURECA-PRO has set itself many tasks, and today I would like to give you a short update about the tasks in the research work package of EURECA-PRO. So I will talk about the Lighthouse Missions, the Open Science event, as well as the dialogue platform CindyPlot. So research Lighthouse Missions, what are they all about? Each university within EURECA-PRO has a unique set of experiences and also research and teaching priorities, and in order to identify the main research topics within the Alliance, we clustered all the individual projects within the universities and summarized them. And following the summary of the inventory, 5 main research projects emerged, and within those Lighthouse missions, each university of EURECA-PRO has a set of unique contribution it can make. So which Lighthouse missions do we have in EURECA-PRO? We have 5 Lighthouse missions, as I said, so Sustainable Material Flows, led by the University of Lyon, Environment and Water, led by Technische Universität Bergakademie Freiberg, Sustainable Materials and Products, led by Technical University of Crete, Clean Energy, led by Montanus at Leoben, and Process Automation and Industry 4.0, led by the Silesian University of Technology. In further meetings, we set up working groups within the Lighthouse missions, and we actively discuss their research projects and joint projects we can submit within Horizon Europe and other funding schemes. So the next steps within the Lighthouse missions are a clear definition of the Lighthouse topics, as well to hand in joint research projects in Horizon Europe and other funding schemes. So this was the first part. And another big question we are now facing within EURECA-PRO is how to connect science, industry, and society. And in order to get all stakeholders actively on board, EURECA-PRO has started with open science events. And so far, we had 3 open science events within the Alliance. The first open science event was about wastewater management within the circular economy. It was held within the Triple N Talks from Montanus at Leoben, and it was held from a professor from Technical University of Crete. The second open science event was all about electric mobility. We joined forces with University of Applied Science Mittweida and held an expert discussion in Montanus at Leoben and live streamed it via YouTube. And the last event was at Technical University of Crete. It was also about the broader topic of mobility. It was about hydrogen-powered vehicles, and we also live streamed it via LinkedIn, Facebook, and I think YouTube, right? Yes, thank you. The open science events are all about the UN Sustainable Development Goal 12, so responsible consumption and production, and the admission is always for free, so that we can get the society and industry. The next open science events are already in planning, so stay tuned for an update and for the next open science event where you can join us. The last big milestone I want to present to you is Cindyblad. It's our dialogue platform which should serve to connect citizens, industry, and representatives, and EURECA-PRO and its scientists through a digital communication platform. So, Cindyblad is already online since January. So everybody who hasn't subscribed yet, please do so, so that we can get Cindyblad started within the Alliance. Basically, there are 2 core areas within Cindyblad. One area for industry and society, and one area for scientists. In the part of the society and industry section, you can get research context and results, but the results and the research context is prepared in a way that also society and industry, which do not have a scientific background, can understand it. Additionally, you get information about EURECA-PRO. Yeah, it's created to bring together science, industry, and scientists. The second core area is for researchers only. So this is a closed part where researchers can work on their project proposals and communicate together. You can already join us and start doing some common research projects there. Yeah. In short, these were the big achievements we made so far in Work Package 3. And yeah, stay tuned for the next update at University of Crete. See you latest there at the Review Week in September. Thank you. Who is next?
Okay, I would like to invite Karsten Trebenstedt for the next presentation of TUBAF.
Yeah, welcome from part of Technical University Bergakademie Freiberg. We are leading the Work Package 2, and this deals with education and studies. And very often I must remember my colleagues in Germany that a university is first of all a place for students. It's a place for education, of obtaining knowledge, competencies, and in accordance with ideas of Humboldt, this education shall be science-based. So these professors shall deal with science to be top on level, to get the latest news to the students, and of course to involve the students in the scientific work. And but sometimes our nice professors forget about the students and think that science is something main in the university process. That's why our target is to bring this education and study in the focus of the new European university, that all efforts we are doing are targeted to this group. So our stakeholders in this case are the students. So again, about the vision, you see the same as before. The Global Educational Core Hub is one of the visions, and sustainable development of integration of science with research, innovation, and society. And in the red area, you see some of the ideas which are behind, in generally, this European University Alliances, and this is to push the European values. This is multi-language. This is intercultural, interdisciplinary approaches, and a lot of things which even shall be a revolution in education and science. And as you know, a revolution can't be, let's say, prepared. This is spontaneous. And even among thousands of ideas, maybe few are really revolutionary and can change the system. Yeah, we integrate lifelong learning, problem-based learning, innovation and creativity, and digitalization. And we are tight connected. This is the blue area with a research work package, because everything is related to each other. In our work package, we have some main tasks, starting with thinking about virtual European faculty. We have long discussions about this, because if we are a university of 8, 9 plus partners, we need a kind of structure, how we cooperate together. Once these are the students, and on the other side this is a staff which are teach and care about the students, or the administration which is behind in the universities, and to bring this in a structure we can train even before we have a legal basic, that this European University Alliance shall be a legal body with some regulations. We shall do so as we are really working together, and in this case it's not virtual. This is, becomes a real cooperation, and this is one of the things we shall apply for the teaching and study process. Yeah, then in the left lower part you see our study programs. I will come to in the next slides. Then we have some additional ideas as supplementary European study modules, as a PhD journey, and of course a platform which is EduPlat for our issues. Yeah, that we have a good correlation between work package 3 and 2, shows especially the master and PhD programs, which are very strong science-oriented and innovation and entrepreneurship-oriented. And that's why we are working since last year to establish a first umbrella for PhD students. And I hope we will have a breakthrough these days, even tomorrow, maybe on the board of rectors, because this is an informal structure where every student can join, which topic is related to the Lighthouse Missions. And then we provide different benefits during the study. Of course, the joint supervision, or this is special seminars we organize in groups and among groups, even to keep the interdisciplinarity alive. We look for common publications and special doctoral meetings and seminars. We are looking for summer schools for participation in the special lectures we offer, language courses, and in the completion we will find a common certificate for the students. Everything is non-legal based. This is only a part of our understanding what we will give benefit for the students, even to fill our European university as soon as possible with students. And of course, after graduation, we see the network, even of our alumni, as an important task, and then we come very fast to the third mission, even connections to industry and to science and to society where our alumni are, even that Eureka-PRO can benefit. That's why my message is, please, Board of Rectors, decide positive that we can establish this umbrella. Even this is a consensus in Educational Council to establish this on our own power. Yeah, about the bachelor programs, 4 of them are start in October this year. You see here in Gliwice, there is a specialization management of sustainable consumption and production in the BSc Management and Production Engineering. In Freiberg, we have a specialization inside of the BSc Engineering. In Leoben, there is a special BSc in Responsible Consumption and Production. And in Mittweida, this specialization is integrated into the BSc in Electrical Engineering. Of course, you can see here the differences in specific universities. The study lasts from 6 to 8 semesters, according to the regulations. And of course, the exchange is individual, adapted from the ideas of own understanding of every partner and the specific regulations. And I repeat and hear that this is a long way, and even Marek told about to come legal to to come to a legal basic which unifies study programs of 8, 9 plus universities is not so easy, even because of different regulations. Even we are not in power to change. Master programs, there start 2 this year in Petroschan and in Leoben. In Petroschan, it's part of the MSc Engineering, and in Leoben there is a specific RCP master program, and in Gliwice the master starts next year in spring. Yeah, additional activities which were on the right side of the slides before. The lecture series is one of them. We carried out one in last year in summer semester, and with 300 participants, then a second one in the winter term, and we have 600 participants. And thank you to everybody who joined to contribute with lectures, interesting topics around a core topic I not mentioned now for the lecture series. And I think this is what we want to see, even that a group of professors from all universities contribute to educate all our students and bring the diverse competencies and excellence together. Last year, we had the first summer school with 20 participants, 3 from every university. We missed one, okay. But, I think it was a very nice approach, and this year we will see increase for the next summer school, and even we are happy to be there then. Yeah, this is about the working situation from last summer. Yeah, and in the forecast, we will have in a few weeks, beginning of June, our colloquium of young researchers, where again from every partner university, 3 PhD students will participate in the topic responsible consumption and production in raw material sector. And we will continue the lecture series. We make a stop now for summer semester, but in winter we start again. And then we have this PhD journey planned. PhD journey even is something special for PhD students. They shall travel to partner universities, be there in place, and check about the different approaches, maybe find interesting labs or interesting partners, professors, colleagues, other PhD students they can share with and improve their PhD study. And we think that yeah, this reach only few persons, but if we do it continuously every semester, then we will reach up to 300 PhD students in our universities. Thank you very much for supporting us up to here, and even thanks for the support in the future. And now I overgive to the next work package. Thank you.
Now I would like to invite Michael Lagoudakis from TUC.
Good morning, everyone. It's really a pleasure to see all of you and meet new people here at the second review and working week of EURECA-PRO. I'm going to say a few words about WP4 innovation, and I'll try to cover very quickly what we have done in the meantime since the last working and review week, and I apologize for not repeating things for those who are new. Apologies if I repeat things. I'm trying to keep things balanced in a short presentation. So what is the content of this work package? Very quickly, these are the tasks included into the WP4. You can see some interesting keywords here: digital infrastructure, online courses, innovation, entrepreneurship, and so on. I'm not going to go through each one of them, but very quickly I can tell you what the objective is behind WP4. So, of course, our goal is to work towards growing into a European university, but WP4 serves a dual function. First, we believe that through this work package, we have to develop and manage the main EURECA-PRO digital platform, which will be the backbone to support all other activities through a central authentication system, through the learning management system, and so on. But then, on the other hand, we also have to connect existing and developing innovation structures, and there is a long list of items here. We have to provide innovation and entrepreneurship training courses to students and staff alike, to create an innovation academy, an innovation observatory, a pipeline for innovation, and many other processes, to establish a joint knowledge transfer and innovation center, and also to support the transfer of know-how, ideas, technologies, innovations, patents, and best practices in general for this area of innovation. So a lot of work into Work Package 4, but let's see very quickly what has been done so far. Since the very beginning of EURECA-PRO, we tried to provide cloud services to EURECA-PRO people through a service developed in-house at the Technical University of Crete known as Filebox, which looks like this for those who use it, and it's based on cloud technology. And the only reason I mention this once again is to let you know that we have grown now with digital material that amounts up to 20 gigabytes. Last time in Leoben it was at 8 gigabytes, I remember. So we're growing, and we have 81 users. And of course, anybody else who wants to be part of this and have access to this repository, the address on the top gives you the registration form. Very quickly, this is the overview of the EURECA-PRO platforms. All partner universities have some contribution in these platforms, and here is a breakdown of who is doing what. And I have to say that recently we have this IT task force that meets frequently to make decisions and monitor progress on IT-related issues with the help of Sarah Colley, who coordinates these meetings. So here is a way to view this digital campus vision, a picture that comes back again and again with some additions and some modifications. The part into the box is what is considered the main digital platform, which includes the database of users with their credentials and all the management system and all the authentication services. And through that, we can support all other services around this. So already in 2021, this was put in place and was functional. A recent addition is actually this symbol-less authentication method that gives more opportunities to add more web applications through the main authentication system. And here is an example. Okay, the slides are, the presentation doesn't look exactly as I expected, but that's okay. These are different applications that already use this authentication system, and all EURECA-PRO users can have access to those services. The next part we have to integrate into this digital campus is this part, the admission system and the student management system. And in this week, there will be a lot of discussion about this part and how it will be integrated into the campus, the digital campus. Here is another view of the new opportunities we have with the symbol-less authentication. Basically, we have a unified access method to all platforms through a single sign-on. And so different web applications can share the same authentication. A quick overview of what of the machines dedicated to EURECA-PRO. Up to October 2021, we had those 5 virtual machines serving specific functions. Since then, 4 more virtual machines have been added, and in the near future, we expect maybe another 2 or maybe more, depending on the needs. And I have to say that all these services and all these virtual machines are hosted at our data center at the Technical University of Crete in Chania. Here is the learning management system, which is based on Moodle technology. And just to give you an idea of the progress that has been done. So since last time, it's already operational since last September, but now it has a new appearance, and it uses the same theme as StudiPlat and CindyPlat, so they all look uniform. And also some guides have been added, like a section with frequently asked questions, a quick guide for instructors, also some introductory videos. Users can browse through this material and become familiar with the learning management system. So another view of the innovation component of work package 4 is that there are 3 areas that need to be covered through this innovation platform: knowledge transfer mechanisms, administration space for setting policy, and then all those activities for knowledge transfer and training. Beginning with the last one, we're already hosting some courses on the LMS, and there is currently an innovation and entrepreneurship training course ongoing this semester. We're kind of halfway at the moment, and the upcoming summer school in September in Crete is also included in this category. These 2 will be presented at the Education Council, so not going to say more. You will get some more information there. The administration space for policy is covered quite well so far by the cloud services, which is operational since the beginning, more or less, of the project. And the new addition, and I will say a few more words about this, is the Innovation Observatory, which is up and running since last February. So the goal of this Innovation Observatory is to promote research and innovative knowledge and raise awareness about best practices. So every innovative researcher or company or research team within the RCP sector, they can add their entry into this repository, and this way we can build a database through which we can connect researchers and innovators within EURECA-PRO member universities, but even outside EURECA-PRO. So how are we going to do this? We have a structured collection. It's an open database, which can be viewed by everybody, but some authorized users can also add material to this database. That's why we say it's user-fed. After some approval by the Innovation Observatory manager, more material can be added. And there are 6 thematic RCP areas. 5 of them match exactly with the Lighthouse Missions, and there is one extra area. You can actually see those 6 areas and their correspondence to the Lighthouse Missions. And there is one addition, as I mentioned earlier. This is built as an open course within the learning management system, although there is a database behind this open course. And here you see just one entry into the database about some new startup company on sustainable learning, farming and food production. Here is one entry, the full view of one entry. And here is the interface that enables authorized users to add new entries by filling in on all fields. So to conclude this quick presentation, let me say a few words about the activities that took place since last time at the Technical University of Crete. And first of all, we have the Innovation and Entrepreneurship course, which is ongoing until this July. We have completed so far 6 lectures, and we have a few more to go. You can see the pictures of our wonderful lecturers, and you are welcome, if you haven't done so so far, to register and watch the rest of the talks. Usually they take place every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Central Time, but there are some differences during the course. Here is the Open Science event that Alex mentioned earlier. Some pictures from the event that took place at the Technical University of Crete. And we had a good number of participants with physical presence, but many more who attended the event through teleconferencing. The event is online. Actually, although it was offered in Greek, we had a translator translating everything in real time to English. And this video is already uploaded on the EURECA-PRO YouTube channel, and you can access it and listen to the English audio. Last week, we had the Green Movie Night, some pictures from the screening that took place on site, and of course, a very interesting event that took place last week again during the International Week was the Greek dancing workshop. And I cannot describe this. It's better to watch the video, which is available on our TUC YouTube channel. Hopefully, soon it can be uploaded also on the EURECA-PRO YouTube channel. So that's all. Stay tuned for more about the innovation and entrepreneurship course and summer school that will take place in September. We will take you to the old port of Chania and in this building in particular. And our project manager, Dina Fragedaki, will tell you more about both courses, the online course and the summer school at the dedicated presentation. And I forgot to mention that within the register participants of the online course, we have many, many Ukrainian students attending that course. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. And now this is the time for Maria Fernandez Raga from ULE.
Thank you to all, and thank you, Marcin, and of course, Marek, for organizing this conference. I am going to talk about the Work Package 5 that is from ULE, and here, as you know, our work package is about transversal skills and tools. It was a long way, and we were learning together. We were learning by doing, and we were learning by connecting with all of you. So we were hearing your way to behave and sharing experiences. And with all of this, we try to involve all the activities that we are doing in EURECA-PRO project with our transversal skills that we find successful for general activities. So this is the team from León. We are led by Roberto Bailo, but we represent all the ULE, and we are really proud of saying that we are growing. For the last conference, we attend less people than now, and it's the same in our university. So, yeah. We are going to start with the transversal competencies that we are developing. The first one will be about languages and cultures and mobility. This is a really strong part of the transversal skills, but not the only one, because we are also trying to develop the interpersonal skills, the digitalization, by doing some courses, and as I'm going to explain. I'm not going to explain it in detail because we have the transversal skills session on Thursday, and the details are going to be given them. Later, I would like to present you our working in virtual training, in the use of virtual campus, and new teaching methodologies that we have developed. And also, the other leg would be the sustainability, not only about health, that is taken into account, the taking care of the environment, and also about the entrepreneurship and employability of our communities, our university community, and also to create a European identity that is probably more important now in the situation that we are front of. When we start the project, we didn't know that we are going to pass through this way, but right now, it is probably more demanding and more important to have this vision in our project. So for doing this, We have always worked in this axis: intercultural skills, digital understanding skills, employability skills, teaching methodologies, healthy activities, sustainability and social awareness, and mobility implementation. To show the progress and the activities and to enter all these resources in what platform, together with TUC, we create this platform that is the Transplat, in which you can find the free courses that we have developed. And this is more or less how it looks. And as you can see, the parts that we divided the platform are more or less the same that I already said. There is only one different part, that is the policies, incentive, and outreach for inclusion of women, because it's another part that we want to have something under the light that is important to show the gender balance that we create in our university. So about the intercultural skills, languages, and citizen actions, we have already done some things. The first one that we work with our Romanian partners was about creation of the identity card, and also the resources that goes behind the card. What type of access to resources of all our universities could be done by doing this, by having this card for the students. The next step was the online platform to promote European identity that cannot be done without being able to recognize all the languages that we have in our alliance. And we were working in creating, with all of you, of course, the language courses, the language crash courses in all the language that we have in our alliance. And also we started with the intercultural training to knowing more about the way that the different cultures that we are mixing, the different customs that we have in eating, in holidays, in things that can be tough when we are working all together, and we have to ask for timetable for doing everything, the meetings. Right now, we can see that we get a structure to work with all together, but I'm sure that you remember when we start, that was very, very difficult to find a time slot to do the meetings or whatever. Later, we also doing a research in understanding the digital competencies that we all have, in which one we were better or worse. We asked you a questionnaire about the Digicom Edu, and after detecting the digital competencies that we need more, we started developing courses to improve them. We are developing already some MOOC courses, open and free for all the partners, all the communities, and also with our Polish partners. We start with another discipline, that is the course of implementation of project-based learning projects. That is another competence that we find really useful for collaboration between the alliance. So we want to push also the women into science and into engineering. That is more or less the main representation that we all share in this alliance. And we start with focusing the women into different activities. For example, the women into STEM colloquiums. We are all trying to develop STEM initiatives, but trying to focus also in the possibilities that the woman has. So we start by doing courses in high schools to put in the women. And also we ran out the contest that we all know, because you have participated, about the innovation STEM contest. But because of this try to focus, we try that in all the groups has to be some representation, some feminine representation. We try to visibilize the woman into companies, into science, and to engineering, to be a modern university, modern European university. Another activities that we have developed are, for example, to participate in fairs of science. Like, for example, In León, we prepared the EURECA-PRO in Expo Science. That was an space in which the different research groups from the university were passing through and explaining to the people how their research was connected with responsible production and consumption. And it was successful. There was a lot of students of all ages, not only from the university, but it was open to all the cities to participate. And also, we have prepared some special MOOCs, as I told you, and we are gonna open them. They are not open yet, but we are preparing. And they are about cybersecurity, about topics that all the community can be interested, about digital skills, about teamwork, or about effective communication. They are going to be massive open courses. So the idea is that we can, with these courses, invite to people from outside our alliance to participate in the courses and to interest by the European University and to collaborate with us. We are also thinking in another courses like leadership, time management, team competence, problem solving, empathy, MOOCs, and others. About the employability skills, that is another important task that we have. We have tried to be close to the companies in the sense of asking them for talking with us, to ask for competencies that they need or for challenges that they need from our universities. So we were organizing the Innovation STEM contest in which the challenges were proposed by companies of all around Europe, with all our countries. And we have several groups, as you know, in all the universities, trying to solve these problems in an international environment. And this is very useful for our students, for our communities, and even for our teachers, because they were in charge of these groups. We are going to prepare in the future think tanks per disciplines, in which they are going to discuss with the companies about these topics. And we also prepare some EURECA-PRO talks, in which we try to find some companies who represent some way the sustainable consumption and production in our local area, to let them sell their products and to show the rest of the community that this behavior is important and is happening already and is a change that we as consumers need to look for. And about teaching methodologies and didactics, what we did is we prepared an exposition of different types of teaching methodologies, like, for example, the case study, also the project-based learning, but not also the project-based learning, also the problem-based learning. That is another possibility to explore, and also some virtual teaching, how we can improve our teaching when it's virtual, because we are sure that in a European university, we are going to improve a lot the virtual teaching from around our countries, and it's important to do MOOCs and to prepare our communities to learn how to do it better. About healthy lifestyle, sustainability, and social awareness, what we did is to create a calendar, a shared calendar, in which all the universities can send us the activities that they are doing in this healthy lifestyle and sustainability, to join all these activities. And the idea is that this calendar is going to be set into the EURECA-PRO webpage for all us to visit. It's not yet in the webpage, but it's our next idea to put them. And we have done some activities, like, for example, the sustainable cooking, that was a success, in which we try to use local products and to help, for example, with the reduction of waste after the cooking, and to to have another look in activities that we all have to do in order to change the mind. We also prepare some activities of sport activities. For example, we were doing a path with bikes and thinking that it was like the atmosphere. We were trying to make with the bikes a walk in which we were passing through the atmosphere, through the different layers of the troposphere, stratosphere, and everything, explaining the problematic things about the environment of this crisis. And also, we create some videos about healthy habits, how to eat or what type of exercise do you need to do, even the footprint that you do with your different activities. The last part was about mobility and internationalization. And about that, what we tried is to organize the international weeks with all of you. So all of the universities of EURECA-PRO has developed their own international weeks. The idea is to create only one, but because of the situation of last year, we all create our own international week, and this was good in the sense that we all has the chance to think in activities for our local community. And later, now we have the common one, taking different ideas from all of us. So it's more EURECA-PRO week. And about pushing the mobilities is the other leg that we really want to, if they are virtual or they are presential, but we want more mobility. And we want to have the Erasmus without papers in all our activities as a way to show that we are, we live in what we are. These are the activities that we start with in 2021. It happens sometime. Keep calm, this is already done. And these ones also already done. I'm not going to explain them again. But these ones are the ones that we want for next year, that are more or less to continue with the activities that we are doing, to prepare the courses that we are done, and to join the calendars of all our activities in common. And yeah, this is the video about our activities, I think. So thank you very much. We are very happy to belong to this family. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Maria. It was great to see how much you've done, how much we've done with you. I'd like to say that there's a new idea just born. one of our students, actually from my faculty. He's Master Chef Poland, actual one, just winning. And we are thinking to integrate him more with the sustainable cooking, maybe during this meeting, let's hope. So now, Stephanie, before we go for lunch.
So then I will keep it as short as possible. Dear rectors, dear vice rectors, professors, researchers, students, or to keep it short, dear Eurekas. Mittweida University of Applied Sciences is really glad that we now can meet in person again, and thank you Silesian University of Technology for having us. You all know that the core tasks of universities are teaching and research. But we as university, and that's why as Alliance too, are part of the society. So there's a new core task. Its name is Third Mission, and that means mutual activities and interactions between higher education institutions and the non-university environment. And Mittweida University of Applied Sciences is responsible for this work package. And let's have a look inside. What happened so far? One of our first deliverables was the intermediate media coverage. Why do we need something like this? We need to know more about the media sector in our countries and the rules behind that, so that we have the possibility to give journalists and other multipliers our information to spread how great we are, let's say that way. Then we defined 3 main target groups for the third mission: the general public, policymaker, and the industry. We thought about activities, what we've done so far, and maybe new formats who can help us to show the people from the industry and, of course, normal people and policymakers why we are so important as Alliance, and responsible consumption and production is so important right now. We developed key messages for the third mission. One of them, for example, is EURECA-PRO is generating enthusiasm about science and scientific findings in responsible consumption and production. That helps us to go a good way via all of our channels, with the help of University of Petroșani, of course, to show what we are doing and why we need science, why we need EURECA-PRO. Also, we collected activities in the sector of knowledge creation. So, what have we done so far, and what can be possible new steps? We wrote a manifest with mission statement, fields of actions, explained the main target groups for third mission, and so on. HSMW was also the first university with one of the platforms. The users of our platform, StudiPlat, are the students. So when you students, I can see you here, need possibilities for housing or jobs when you come to Mittweida or when you go to our colleagues in Greece, then you can find solutions where to get a bit more money for your stay, or where you can meet people and share flats, for example. And we have to show who we really are. That's why we produced videos with our researchers. We visited most of our universities in the Alliance, and of course we will visit the others too. And so over 20 videos were produced until today. Also, we collected articles, for example, in newspapers about EURECA-PRO, with the help of the other universities, of course, so that we can see which topics, for example, are really important for journalists and where we have to do more to get more articles and films and so on. We analyzed also organizations to learn and to understand why they are well known, so that we can copy some of their parts of their strategy. And of course, I also have to talk about our next steps. Professor Drebenstedt mentioned it. Students are really important for universities. And we, as Mittweida University of Applied Sciences, we design new courses, for example, about sustainability communication and social entrepreneurship. And of course, we extend our collection about the media coverage. And we do whatever is necessary to communicate the research results of EURECA-PRO to the population, to show what we together as Alliance can achieve and why Europe needs us. And you've seen that from the other coordinators. We were asked to give a short slideshow about some of our activities. But yeah, let's call me a rebel, but I'm more into videos, and I would like to introduce you to some of our other colleagues, to the researchers of EURECA-PRO.
Hi, I'm Alex. My name is Joe.
My name is Stefanie Walter.
I'm a chemist. I work as microbiologist.
My passion is to get inspired by nature.
I'm heading the chair for additive manufacturing.
Field of system control engineering.
I'm a water chemistry professor.
Critical potential optimization
in order
Thermochemical conversion of biomass and waste.
environmental engineering.
modifying plant-based materials.
Green cars only with green fuels.
With my work, I'm contributing to the mobility transformation of the individual transport.
Make people understand that they can build with their hands.
No university is an island. We have to work together.
How we can increase the acceptance for example, wind or solar plants.
Complex problems into understandable information
in order to solve geotechnical and environmental issues.
Technological solutions are sustainable only working also with community.
We have to feel part of the same global vision.
I want to use waste material and additive manufacturing to work towards a sustainable economy.
To make educational systems more efficient.
And I'm developing a rental app for electric cargo bikes and cargo scooters.
Develop and find greener solutions to manage our wastewater in a more effective and more circular way.
Our main focus is the investigation of new recycling technologies for metals and waste electronic devices.
The responsible usage of natural resources like water or metals.
Bacteria are extremely useful organisms. They help
My topic is science.
So thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Stephanie. And now I would like to ask Dan Petrilian from Petrosania University.
Dear rectors, dear distinguished guests, in the beginning of my presentation, I would like to thank you for your warm welcome, for hosting here at your valuable university. University of Petroshan is leader of Work Package 8, Sustainability and Dissemination, and our main role is to disseminate our consortium activities and results to maintain a good image of the Alliance and to promote its goals, vision, and mission. This is the main theme of the work package. Through this work package, we need to ensure the sustainability of the project and the durability of the alliance. In short, the main tasks and our deliverables, due date, type, and stage of achievement. Our first task is project identity. Since starting our project in November 2021, we have designed merchandise materials, visuals, guides, presentation, and deliverables templates, design of posters, design of social media visuals, logo design. The second, our task is dissemination process. We have conceived a dissemination process, split it in target groups, dissemination plan, and dissemination strategy. Our colleagues Mijanelu and Bogi Alex have attended to a special training course in the field of social media promotion. In short, the social media strategy plan needs to increase EURECA-PRO visibility, is forms from these steps. This topic will be developed longer to the communication task force that will take place today, and now I'm not going to insist too much on it. The third, our task is intelligent exploitation of scientific results and technological transfer. Transfer of knowledge and professional experience, proficiency is necessary because we need to use the integrated aspect of science. Here we develop in 5 directions: scientific communities, industry stakeholders or policymakers, exploitation activities and objectives in EURECA-PRO, exploitation goals, by exploiting the project innovation results, financial value, and opportunities in the vertical and horizontal economy, and development and diversification of collaboration with teacher researchers from partner universities. Financial sustainability strategy, we had to outline financial sustainability mechanisms and activities targeted to EURECA-PRO. In this slide, we have the current financing EURECA-PRO partner university based their responses. As you can see, all 7 universities use Erasmus funds and national funds, but only 5 of them on research contracts, and only 2 funds from Horizon 2020. Here, I think that we need to grow. The degree of responsibility of company is presented in the slide on the left side. And using merchandise and marketing materials and channels are represented in the chart on the right side. As you can see, websites and social media are channels used by all 7 universities, whilst newspapers and events only 3 of them. We have identified some tracks, some ways for future financing EURECA-PRO partner university. Among these, I'm mentioning opening of partnership companies between 2 or more partner university, looking for backflows and spin-off, looking for private sponsor and donors, tuition fees, conference fees. Smart specialization. Smart specialization can be keeping in mind the 3 postulates of sustainable development: economic and energetic efficiency, ecological responsibility, and social equity. Here we develop 4 directions: introduction, substantiation, and justification in the process of training students, the notion of circular economy, eco-design, and eco-innovation, the use of scientifically non-perishable basic knowledge in the initial stage of training students, waste analysis in the light of prevention of waste production, repair and reuse, correct sorting of waste, composing and recycling, and the last one is development of exegetic analysis components in environment impact assessment and qualitative qualification of energy efficiency. Digital channels for enhancing public awareness. The main pillar is the project website. That is the main key point for point for key information. It has been rethought and redesigned in the last 2 months. Another pillar is social media channels, EURECA-PRO, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and so on. Digital materials and community creation and management. All partner university must send us their events, project activities in the field of education and research, their results and impact, and our job is to disseminate them on social media channels. Here we have some examples from EURECA-PRO digital channels. Stakeholders dialogue. The problem is how making stakeholders dialogue a success for EURECA-PRO community development. Exploring, tackling these stages, exploring, planning, implementation, and monitoring and evaluation. Initially, we need to identify the stakeholders, that is split in preliminary list of stakeholders and the update list. Then we need to analyzing the stakeholders and finally mapping them. We have identified 3 types of key action in diagram 1 and in diagram 2. Each partner university must organize annually 5 types of events, either together or separately. Stakeholders Day, a workshop, a community event, and a round table, or either separately or together, annually, please. And finally, we have mapped the stakeholders at the level of each partner university. Here we have an example of stakeholders from University of Petroșani, public institution, companies, and non-profit organization, and the level of involvement. Another good example, University of Crete and University of Leon. The last hour task, monitoring and measuring of impact of project activities, must outline the contribution made by each partner university in order to observe which activities, which experiences is more efficient and is more effective, and what the effect is. Initially, we need a theoretical relay. Taking into account the lesson learned, our future action will be, can be improved one cycle to another, so that the objective of the project will be fully achieved. For quantitative evaluation, we have used as data sources the information provided by social media channels, like number of persons whom the postings reached to, who reacted to the postings, distribute the posting, connected to the posting, number of viewings, content, professional category of the person whom the postings, professional fields, origin area. We have developed this monitoring in 2 directions, in online and in offline, but this subject will be developed longer to the steering committee. here we have measurement of impacts in online, and we have an increasing of 8% of the last 3 months. But as I said, this topic will be developed longer in steering committee. Thank you for your attention. I just want to say that responsible consumption in production is a noble field that has accompanied worldwide entire its life. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. And now would be the moment in the recent meeting that we would finish, but we have, and we are really happy about it, a new member of our family, and it's first on-site chance to meet them. So please, warm welcome and applause to our guests and our family members. Sadia, the floor is yours.
So, good to be here. Good that everybody's still alive and awake. It's very interesting to us. Everything is almost quite new. So it's very entertaining, not only interesting to see all of you, to meet you in person, but as we do not yet have a work package, I thought it would also be a good moment to get acquainted a little bit more. So I have foreseen not some dissemination on a work package, but I have foreseen something on Hasselt University. So you do know us a little bit more, a little bit better. The colleagues of Hasselt University maybe can a little bit wave their hand. So please reach out to us. We are here. And get acquainted with us. They're all nice folks, by the way. So, who are we? It's another button, maybe. Okay. Hasselt University, where is it lying? Geographically, that's already a very good thing to know where we are located. So in Europe, everybody knows where Brussels is, so that's fairly straightforward. We're a main heading around 8 kilometers from Brussels, a little bit more to the Netherlands spot. So you see the red province, that's the province of Limburg, and the white dot in the middle, that's Hasselt. Our university is composed of 7 faculties. We consist of a faculty of life sciences, arts and architecture, engineering. We have law, we have economics, we also have the sciences. So we are quite broad university, also a young university. Next year we will be only 50 years alive, but we are very proud that we have built already such a university in that way. We have 3 schools, a school of educational science, a school of social sciences, and next to that we also have arranged ourselves and organized ourselves in terms of institutes and research centers. You see here a little bit of our numbers in terms of programs, both the bachelor and the master programs. And we have 5 English-speaking master programs thus far. When it comes down to the number of students, we are having 6,500 students in the meanwhile, and we hope to enrich and stimulate that number also because of being part to EURECA-PRO. Next to that, we have 713 PhD students, out of which almost half of them is international. We are visible in the world through university rankings. We are present in most of the big university rankings. So we are present in the Times Higher Education ranking, the QS ranking, and the ARWI ranking. And I think the best image on who we are is visible through the U-Multi-Rank ranking. There you have indicators in the sunburst talking about research, education, innovation, regional impact, and also the international orientation. And most of the times, Hasselt University is reaching 3 to 5 blocks, and 5 blocks is the excellent level, so you can't be any better than that. For some things, you see that there are things missing, and it seems that we have a 0 score, but these are basically data that we're not providing to U-Multi-Rank. So if there would be a score, I don't know what to do that, but would be good, I guess. Our research is centered around themes, topics that are residing in strategic centers, and institutes. These are all built interdisciplinary, so people can stimulate each other. And good for you to know that we have an Institute for Materials Research, which is very good in line with what EURECA-PRO is doing. We have a Center for Environmental Sciences, a biomedical research institute. We're also working in the field of data science, transportation research, and also obviously there's a component on sustainability around. An expertise center for digital media, and we have a clinical research center. We are part of EURECA-PRO, and we are a very proud member there to be also part of the family, but we're also part of some other networks, for instance, like the Copernicus Alliances and the Sustainable Development Solutions Network, which is also important to EURECA-PRO. Our international outreach is still growing. We're constantly working on that, and you see here the number of collaborations we have in terms of education and research. But through our network and our cooperation with you, we also would like to enrich that. If you would come to Hasselt University, this would be the main entrance of our main building at Hasselt University. So this is just to see where you are. And some people in the room already have had the pleasure to come to us, like, for instance, Lisa. Who are we then when it comes down to policy priorities? So this will be a quite boring story, you might think, but I will keep it short, I promise you. Lunch is coming, I know that, so the burden is quite heavy. So who are we and why are we actually a perfect candidate to also to partner with you? This is because we are a university with the same beliefs as you have. We're also a civic university, and the themes that we have in our minds are basically coinciding with the themes that you would have. So what the main priorities are in our university is about learning. We want to have a learning environment not only on the bachelor, the master level, but also on the postgraduate level, the PhD level. Everybody, even our staff, should continuously learn for a lifelong time. We are an inclusive environment, meaning that also everybody should be able to participate. We would like to have everybody on board. We have an international outreach and a vision. We want to be spreading throughout the world, and sustainability was one of the priorities and still is, even before we were contacted also by the network to be part of it. So this is really one of the main things that is in our core and in our DNA. This is a picture of the main building we have at Campus Diepenbeek. So this is another view we have, and in front of the building are some of the international students. What we want to do with regards to internationalization is to build a strong network. And EURECA-PRO is one of the networks where we really think that we should grow and really become a member of the family. So I don't know if we would be like the child, the niece or whatever. We will see that in some years where we will go, but we really like to take part. Then, education. In education, we're thinking about using innovative methods constantly. We're thinking, for instance, on problem-based learning methodologies. We're constantly having innovation in there. We have in Belgium a very unique way of educating our students. So we work, for instance, on very small terms focused in close collaboration with the students to teach them what they're doing and to bringing it in practice. This is a way of teaching students which is quite unique in Belgium, but it's really worthwhile and it's working very good. We have very high success rates with that. So if we could also have some kind of cooperation in that and try to have a bigger outreach there, we would also like to do that. I'm constantly playing with the wrong buttons just to see whether you're still attentive or not. So, unique way of teaching. There are some action words here which we think are really key and important to our educational system. The civic engagement, which also is in the DNA of EURECA-PRO, also is presented in our things. Action and interaction. This is something that we really, really like. Short teaching periods, intensive guidance, employability skills. So for all of you who are really well acquainted with the work programs of EURECA-PRO, you definitely are recognizing many of the terms that you're also using throughout the program there. So therefore, this is also very nice to cooperate. Then we move to research, and what you see here is a picture of the last building that we have built in the Campus Diepenbeek. It's our science tower, and there the chemistry and the physicists are located. What do we want to do there in terms of research and innovation? We want to focus on specific research spearheads, and most of them are centered around sustainability, not surprising. We do want to strive for excellence in sustainability research. We do want to connect with many people in the world with EURECA-PRO. So this is one of the key focus themes that we have. And for this is an image, maybe not so visible, but this is an image of the faculties we have, the centers and the institutes. But this is not maybe so easy to discuss in this way, but come to me and we'll have a discussion on what our research is centered about, and you definitely found out more. So then last but not least, before leaving you to have a nice lunch, there was asked, what did you do already in terms of EURECA-PRO? So I could not say we already did really a lot, because we only entered the network as of January 1st, but we already had some people of EURECA-PRO signing the partnership agreement, as you see, because these are the things we had. It was in the newspaper, and Lisa, this is the newspaper where you're in, so you have it as a gift later on. Lisa was also already on the Flemish television with EURECA-PRO, so on the regional television. We were on the radio with that, so it was broadly announced. Everybody liked it, by the way. We also are participating already in the first upcoming events like the innovation and entrepreneurship courses. We did participate in the International Week with the Dutch language crash course. So you see, we're slowly moving up, and we're trying to keep the pace because your training is already riding and we're just hopping off. Oh, hopping on, not hopping off. Woo. But everybody is awake still, you know? This is working. Okay, so what are we also doing? We're also wanting to participate in the summer school. We also are trying to arrange a PhD colloquium, so we will move in more and more. So we're very happy that we are part of the family. We're very happy also that you have us as a host, Marek, and for this we also have made a small gift to you. This needs no water, okay?
Thank you, Sadia. It was very entertaining. We are really happy to have you here. She doesn't listen, but anyway, we are happy. She mentioned about the lunch, but not that fast, because Susanne has something nice to say. And then Grzegorz, I will not come again, but Grzegorz will tell you a few tips about organization. And then it's lunch.
Hi, I'm sorry to keep you from lunch. It's only going to take a minute. But it's good news. I just wanted to let you know, and you have to keep this a secret publicly until the 13th of June, but EURECA-PRO won the Sustainability Award 2022 from the Ministry of Climate and the Ministry of Education in Austria. And there will be an award ceremony on the 13th of June in Vienna, and all the official information will go out on that day, and then we can all post it on our websites, and you will receive the information from us. But this is our first Sustainability Award, so good job, everyone. Enjoy lunch.
Great news for the end. Hello, everyone. I'm very glad to welcome all of you here, and I also welcome those of our colleagues who are observing us at the Zoom sessions, this one and next Zoom sessions. And I have some information about organization. So first of all, each of you have ID card, and it is not only ID card. You can open it, and it is a program here, and as much of useful information as we was able to put here. So you always have it with you, you can open, you can use it. There is also a QR code, and this information, which couldn't be placed on this piece of paper, is after scanning with your phone, you can access the Padlet page, and there is fresh and actual information about all the issues. So please use it. I'm also very glad that so many of you was able to come here in person and participate in person. And I encourage all of you to use this opportunity to make contacts, to create as much diversified groups as possible, and to mix all the time, not sit in your own group, because this is the great opportunity to know each other and to spend time together in mixed groups. About our accompanying events, first of all, we have planned 3 dinners. Today, first dinner is at 6 p.m., so it is in the Sylvia Hotel in Gliwice, in a walking distance from all of your dormitories and hotels. And this is, as I said, in Sylvia Hotel. So we gather at 6 p.m. already there on place. Tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, we are going to the dinner by bus. So the first one is in Piekary Śląskie, and the second one on Thursday is in Chata Polaka. It is also in Gliwice, but not in the walking distance, so we'll use the buses. And buses will departure from the parking at the rectorate of our university. On the Padlet, you have map with all the points which are necessary. So on the Padlet page, we couldn't place it here. So use this, and if you have any questions, please come to us and ask anytime. We are using mostly rooms which are in this building and in next building of Faculty of Mechanical Engineering. They are connected by corridor, and if you go outside, there are signs showing you the way to all the rooms. And one exception is the room for Board of Rectors. So the Board of Rectors is organized in our Synod Hall, which is in quite a different building, and this will take place on tomorrow, and it starts with lunch for rectors already there. So rectors who will participate in the sessions here in this building are kindly asked to go for the lunch directly to the building with rectorate, and there is a Synod Hall when you will have the lunch. And one more important information is that we planned a visit to Guido coal mine, which is already closed for mining, but it is a museum when you can go down underground and feel the spirit of the mining community. This is maybe not for everyone, because you go down with the dark lift, which is small because it is a usual lift for the miners, but because of the organizational issues, we kindly ask you to register for this. On the Padlet page, there is a electronic form, but if you want to do that now during the lunch break, come to our table and tell us that you want to participate. We need to organize buses, we need to organize guides, so this is the last day today when we ask you to register for this event. And because we are late, I will not talk more. And I also want to announce that we prolonged the lunch time by 15 minutes. So we will start lunch right now and finish it 1:45. Okay? Thank you very much for your attention, and good appetite for lunch.